I tested DeepSeek V4 Flash against Claude Sonnet 5, and DeepSeek won. I gave both models the same 7 coding prompts through their APIs. Each model had one chance to create a complete project inside a single HTML file. They built a 3D game, a browser-based operating system, an FPS, a Mario-style platformer, a Minecraft-style game, an endless runner, and a travel agency website. DeepSeek won 3 rounds, Sonnet won 2, and 2 ended in a tie. The result confirmed what many people already believed. V4 Flash can compete directly with Sonnet 5, and in this test, it beat it. DeepSeek often produced the more enjoyable result, with better visuals, sound, and small details that made its games feel more complete. So in this video, we'll compare all 7 projects, see where each model was better, and look at how much they cost. By the end, you'll see exactly how DeepSeek beat Sonnet. Let's begin with a round where the difference was obvious from the first second. For the first test, I simply asked both models to create a 3D game. I did not tell them what kind of game to build. They chose their own ideas. DeepSeek created a colorful obstacle course. You control a ball, collect stars, avoid boxes, move across platforms, and try to reach the glowing goal before time runs out. It immediately looked like a real small game. The colors were bright, the goal was clear, and the camera placed you directly behind the ball. Every star was reachable and everything worked. It also had sound, lives, and a timer. Sonnet chose a different idea. It created a large maze where you roll a ball and collect gems. The maze worked, but it was much darker and less exciting to look at. It also felt more empty, and unlike DeepSeek's game, it had no sound. But when I played both projects, DeepSeek was clearly better. It looked better, felt more like a complete game, and was more enjoyable to play. Round 1 goes to DeepSeek. The second prompt asked both models to build a Mac OS-style desktop in the browser. DeepSeek created a very clean interface. Its Finder looked detailed, with folders, file icons, search, and different view options. Notes also worked. The other app icons opened as windows, but most of them were not real applications. They displayed simple placeholder messages instead. Sonnet went much further. Its desktop included a working Finder, editable notes, a terminal with real commands, a calculator, mail, music, messages, photos, settings, and more. The windows could be moved, resized, minimized, maximized, and layered properly. The dock animation and desktop behavior also felt closer to macOS. DeepSeek may have had the nicer-looking Finder, but Sonnet built the more complete operating system. This was Sonnet's clearest win in the entire test. The score was now 1-1. Next, I asked both models to create a first-person shooter. The 2 games were similar. Both had an enclosed arena, targets, obstacles, a crosshair, ammunition, and a score system. But when I played them, DeepSeek's game felt better. It had recoil when firing, sound effects, and visible reactions when a target was hit. Its arena was also brighter, so enemies and obstacles were easier to see. The whole thing was a more satisfying shooting experience. Sonnet's arena was very dark and had no sound. The shooting worked, but it felt flatter and less enjoyable. The basic idea was similar, but recoil and sound made DeepSeek's version feel much more complete. DeepSeek wins round 3. This was another clear win for DeepSeek. DeepSeek created a long and detailed platform game with multiple enemy types, question blocks, Brit blocks, coins, checkpoints, lives, sound effects, and several background layers. The game filled the screen, looked colorful, and felt much closer to a finished Mario-style project. Sonnet's game worked, but it was much simpler. The environment had fewer details, and there was no sound. For sound, visuals, gameplay, and overall quality, DeepSeek was clearly ahead. That gave DeepSeek its 3rd win. The Minecraft-style test was extremely close. Both models created a working voxel world with first-person controls. You could move, jump, break blocks, and place new blocks. They looked similar, played similarly, and offered almost the same experience. I could not find a meaningful difference between them, so I am calling the Minecraft test a tie. What matters more to you in AI-generated games, better code underneath, or the version that simply feels more enjoyable to play? Tell me in the comments. The Endless Runner was interesting, because DeepSeek looked more impressive at first. Its version had bright graphics, sound effects, a save best score, increasing speed, coins, vehicles, and a large character in the center of the screen. Sonnet's version looked darker and more basic. It also had no sound, but after playing both games, Sonnet was easier to control. DeepSeek's road was too narrow, the character was too large, and the obstacles quickly filled the small playable space. The game became difficult for the wrong reason. It was hard to see and react in time. Sonnet gave the player more space. The road, obstacles, and character were better balanced, so the game felt fairer and easier to understand. DeepSeek had more features. Sonnet had the better gameplay. And for a game, gameplay matters more. Sonnet wins round 6. The final test was a travel agency website. This was easily the closest round. Both models created clean, professional pages with strong typography, destination cards, navigation, call-to-action buttons, testimonials, and a contact form. DeepSeek used a warm beach image and a bright, modern design. The navigation, destination cards, buttons, and page layout all looked professional. Sonnet's page had a similar style, with large destination cards, clean spacing, and strong typography. It looked just as professional overall. The two sites were extremely close in both design and overall quality. Neither result felt clearly better enough to deserve a full point. So the travel agency round is also a tie. The final score is DeepSeek V4 Flash, 3 wins, Claude Sonnet 5, 2 wins, and 2 ties. DeepSeek was better in the 3D game, the FPS, and the Mario-style game. Sonnet was better in the browser OS and the endless runner. Minecraft and the travel website were too close to separate. There is also a clear pattern in these results. DeepSeek often added more sound, more visual detail, and more small features. Its best projects felt lively and fun immediately. Sonnet was better when the project needed depth or careful balance. Its browser OS had far more working applications, and its endless runner was easier to play even without sound. DeepSeek won because its strongest results were better as complete experiences. They looked better, sounded better, and were usually more enjoyable to use. The price makes this result even more interesting. Sonnet 5 currently costs $2 per million input tokens and $10 per million output tokens. That started as introductory pricing, but Anthropic has now made it permanent. The planned increase to $3 and $15 was cancelled. DeepSeek V4 Flash uses peak and off-peak pricing. Depending on the time, input costs between 22 and 44 cents per million tokens. Output costs between 66 cents and $1.32 per million tokens. For a workload with 40 million input tokens and 8 million output tokens, Sonnet costs about $160 at its current rate. The same usage with DeepSeek costs roughly $14 to $28 depending on the time of day. So DeepSeek did not only win more rounds in my test, it can also cost several times less. So, is DeepSeek V4 Flash better than Claude Sonnet 5? In this test, clearly yes. DeepSeek won 3 rounds, Sonnet won 2, and 2 were too close to call. DeepSeek produced the better games overall. It added sound more often, created stronger visuals, and made projects that were usually more enjoyable immediately. Sonnet won the browser OS and the endless runner, but DeepSeek produced the better games overall and won more rounds. Considering the final score and the large price difference, DeepSeek V4 Flash was both the better performing model and the better value in this comparison. The more expensive model did not win. This time, the cheaper model produced the stronger results. If this video helped you, leave a like and subscribe for more real AI comparisons like this one. I'll keep testing these models with the same prompts and show you what they actually build, not just their benchmark scores.